Man never forgets a woman who does these things for them. Let's get right into it. Number 7. She let him be completely useless without judgment. Every human has moments where they're just incompetent, like watching a grown adult struggle with a jar of pickles for 5 straight minutes, or trying to fold a fitted sheet like they're wrestling an octopus. Normal stuff. When a woman sees a man at his most pathetically useless, maybe he's sick and turns into a dramatic Victorian poet dying of consumption, or he can't figure out how to work the new coffee machine, or he's genuinely confused by IKEA instructions. And instead of mocking him or getting frustrated, she just helps or doesn't help and lets him figure it out without the disappointed sigh. The psychology here is vulnerability acceptance. Your brain has this constant low-level anxiety about being found out as incompetent, which psychologists call imposter syndrome light. When someone witnesses you being a complete disaster and doesn't weaponize it later or make you feel small, your amygdala, the brain's fear center, marks them as emotionally safe. This gets encoded into episodic memory with the emotional weight of, "This person won't abandon me when I'm not performing peak masculinity," which is basically the male psychological equivalent of finding out someone's a keeper. Your nervous system stops doing its usual threat assessment routine and actually relaxes. Wild concept. Number 6. She laughed at his absolutely terrible jokes. Picture this. A guy tells a joke so bad it makes dad jokes look like stand-up gold. We're talking, "Why did the Scarecrow win an award? Because he was outstanding in his field" level comedy. And instead of the polite pity laugh most people give, she actually laughs. Not the fake, "haha, that's funny," while checking her phone laugh, the real one. Here's the psychology. When someone genuinely laughs at your humor, even when it's objectively garbage, your brain releases a cocktail of dopamine and oxytocin that basically screams, "This person gets me." It's the same neurochemical response you get from winning something or eating really good pizza. Your prefrontal cortex files this person under emotional safety, and your hippocampus, the brain's creepy librarian that never forgets anything, makes a permanent bookmark. Men specifically tie humor acceptance to validation because evolutionarily, making someone laugh meant you weren't a threat. So when she laughs at your dumb joke about a chicken crossing the road, your caveman brain thinks you just successfully proved you're not going to club anyone over the head. Congrats on clearing that incredibly low bar. Number 5. She remembered the weird small thing. Your brain has this annoying habit of forgetting where you put your keys 17 times a day, but somehow remembers that one embarrassing thing you did in 7th grade with perfect clarity. It's called selective memory, and it's wildly inconsistent. But when she remembers that you mentioned once, 3 months ago that you like your coffee with exactly 2 sugars, or that you're weirdly afraid of ceiling fans, or that your favorite childhood snack was those orange peanut butter crackers shaped like astronauts, your brain does a double take. The psychological principle here is called attentiveness signaling. When someone pays attention to details about you that even you barely remember saying, your brain interprets it as, "This person values me enough to actually listen when I talk," which, let's be honest, is rarer than you'd think. The anterior cingulate cortex, the part of your brain that processes social information, lights up like a Christmas tree. It's the same mechanism that makes you remember your 3rd grade teacher who actually pronounced your name right on the first try. Basically, she hacked the male brain by doing the bare minimum, paying attention. Revolutionary concept. Number 4, she gave him space without playing games. The human brain is obsessed with patterns and prediction. It's why you check your phone at the same time every day and why uncertainty makes you anxious. Your nervous system likes knowing what's going to happen next. So when a guy says he needs space, maybe he's overwhelmed, processing something, or just needs to stare at a wall for 3 hours like a malfunctioning robot, and she just lets him have it? No guilt trips, no passive-aggressive fine whatever, no cryptic social media posts, no punishment disguised as understanding, just actual space. This breaks the psychological pattern men are used to where "I need space" gets translated into "here comes a week of emotional warfare." When that doesn't happen, when she takes him at his word and trusts that space doesn't mean abandonment, his brain doesn't know what to do with this information at first. Then the ventral striatum, the part of your brain that processes reward and trust, connects the dots. This person respects boundaries and doesn't operate on manipulation. The relief your nervous system feels is so intense, it gets permanently filed under green flag archive. Men remember this because it's the opposite of the anxious attachment game playing that makes modern dating feel like psychological warfare. She didn't punish him for being human. Apparently, that's unforgettable now. The bar is in hell. Number 3, she challenged him without destroying him. Some people have this idea that being supportive means agreeing with everything someone says and never questioning them. That's not support, that's enablement with a smile. When she actually calls him out on his nonsense, points out when he's wrong, or challenges his ideas without making it a personal attack or turning it into a character assassination, that's the sweet spot. She disagrees with what he said, not who he is. Here's the neuroscience. Your brain has 2 completely different response systems for criticism. When someone attacks your ideas, your dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, the logical thinking part of your brain, can process that and potentially learn from it. But when someone attacks your character or identity, your amygdala treats it like a physical threat and you go into defensive mode. No learning happens, just emotional damage. Men specifically remember women who mastered this balance because it's stupidly rare. Most people either never challenge you, boring and useless, or they challenge you by questioning your entire existence, destructive and mean. She did neither. She made him better without making him feel worse. Your hippocampus bookmarks this because growth-oriented relationships are neurologically rewarding. Your brain literally gets ahead of dopamine from becoming a better version of yourself when someone shows you how without crushing your soul in the process. Turns out respectful accountability is attractive. Who knew? Number 2, she defended him when he wasn't there. Here's a weird fact. Your brain cares more about what people say about you when you're not around than what they say to your face. It's called indirect reputation management, and it's why gossip is so psychologically powerful. So imagine this. He finds out later that when someone was talking trash about him at a party, she jumped in and shut it down. He wasn't even there to witness it. No audience, no performance, no immediate reward for her, just pure loyalty when nobody was keeping score. This triggers something called altruistic third-party punishment recognition in the brain. Essentially, your mind interprets someone defending you in your absence as the ultimate form of genuine respect because there's zero personal benefit to them. It's not performative, it's real. The ventromedial prefrontal cortex, which processes trust and social bonding, basically does a backflip. Men especially remember this because it flies in the face of the evolutionary paranoia about who's actually on your team when resources are scarce. When she proves she's got your back even when you're not looking, your brain files that under ride or die and staples it to your long-term memory. You could forget her birthday, not recommended, but you'll never forget that. Number 1, she believed in him when he didn't. Your brain has this obnoxious feature called negativity bias, where it remembers criticism 5 times stronger than praise. Evolutionarily, this kept you alive. Remembering that one time you almost got eaten by a tiger was more useful than remembering that nice sunny day. But in modern life, it mostly just means you're your own worst critic. So when you're drowning in self-doubt, convinced you're going to fail at whatever you're attempting, maybe you're starting a business or switching careers or just trying to adult without constantly setting things on fire, and she looks at you with zero irony and says you've got this and actually means it, that hits different. The neuroscience here is wild. When someone expresses genuine belief in your abilities during moments of self-doubt, it activates your brain's reward circuitry and temporarily overrides your negativity bias. It's called social baseline theory, the idea that human brains are wired to use other people as external regulators for our internal states. Her confidence becomes scaffolding for his. Men especially remember this because society simultaneously tells them to be confident and successful while also making sure they know they're one mistake away from total failure. It's exhausting. When a woman sees potential in him that he can't see in himself and doesn't just say it, but shows it by sticking around through the messy middle part, his brain encodes that as one of the most significant forms of love. Your hippocampus doesn't just remember this, it builds a shrine to it. Because having someone believe in you when you don't believe in yourself is the psychological equivalent of having a co-pilot when you're pretty sure you're crashing the plane. You don't forget the person who stayed in their seat. That's all for today. I'll be making more videos like this, so subscribe if you don't want to miss them.